This queen would become extremely angry whenever she caught sight of her large nose. She summoned painters to create her portrait, promising that any painter who could depict her as beautiful would be bestowed with endless wealth and glory. Consequently, each painter employed their most proficient painting techniques, striving to render the queen in her truest likeness. However, this only irritated the queen. In the end, the painters had to endure a severe punishment. There was a young boy, an apprentice with a passion for drawing. He possessed an extraordinary talent for painting. Nevertheless, his unique style was not appreciated by others, so he was relegated to running errands for his teacher and cleaning up. His teacher also received the command to paint the queen's portrait, like the other painters. But no matter how he altered the painting, he was too afraid to submit it himself. So, he handed the painting to the boy. The boy waited outside the palace, where many apprentices like him were lining up to be summoned by the queen. Suddenly, a mosquito flew over and began constantly bothering the boy. In a fit of anger, the boy struck at it with his drawing tube, accidentally smashing it in the process. The boy quickly hid and checked his painting. Fortunately, the artwork was unharmed. But then, the mosquito returned. The boy slapped at the mosquito, inadvertently smearing its blood on the queen's nose in the painting. Panicking, he tried to wipe off the stain. At that moment, a scream from within the palace caught the boy's attention, causing him to accidentally erase the queen's entire nose. At this time, the queen's impatient summoning command came from inside the palace. The boy was extremely anxious. Spotting the pigments arranged around him, he picked up a paintbrush, preparing to paint a picture himself. Before long, he had tried out all sorts of nose shapes, but none of them resembled the true queen. The boy was filled with despair, convinced that he was surely going to be fed to the sharks by the queen. Then, he was escorted into the palace by the palace guards. Looking at the fierce beast behind the queen, the boy was trembling all over. Opening the canvas shakily, he was ready to face the queen's anger. To his surprise, the queen adored the painting, even hugging it and dancing for joy, not wanting to let it go. It turned out that at the last moment, the boy had changed the painting to his own style of painting, and incidentally made the nose smaller. He unexpectedly gained the queen's favor. From that point on, the boy became famous. The queen not only gave him a generous reward, but also appointed him as the chief court painter.